Welcome to the New City Catechism series. Last week we looked at the question, how can we glorify God? And our answer was by loving him and obeying his commands and law. In this week's question and in the next few weeks we're going to be looking more at the law. The law of God was given to a man called Moses. You may have heard of before, and it was given to Moses to show us God's standard of what is right and wrong. And the law of God was shared with all of God's people. When Jesus was alive, somebody who knew the law came to him and asked our question for this week. Question number 7, which is, what does the law of God require? And Jesus answered that we love God with all our heart, soul, mind and strength, and love our neighbour as ourselves. The first part of our answer says that we love God. Loving God is the most important thing that we could ever do. If we want to be able to keep any of the law, we need to love God. It's a bit like food. If we want to grow and have energy to play, we eat food, that is banana. And we eat it because it's what enables us to grow and have energy. If we want to keep God's law, or attempt to keep God's law, it's God that enables us to do this. If we love God, it will help us to keep his law. And without God, it'd be pretty hard to keep any of it. So, how do we do it? How do we attempt to keep God's law? How do we love God? Well, we love God with all our heart, soul, mind and strength. That is every single bit of us. He wants us to love him with every single part of us. What does the law of God require? That we love God with all our heart, soul, mind and strength, and love our neighbour as ourselves. And if we love God with every single part of us, we will want to love other people too. It says love our neighbour as ourselves. That doesn't just mean the neighbour next door, but it means all people. So it could be your friend who lives next door, but it could also mean your friends at school or people across the other side of the world. What does the law of God require? That we love God with all our heart, soul, mind and strength, and love our neighbour as ourselves. We're going to be learning all about God's law from the Bible. And in the book of Matthew, it says, and Jesus said to him, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the great and first commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbour as yourself. On these two commandments depend all the law and the prophets. What does the law of God require? That we love God with all our heart, soul, mind and strength, and love our neighbour as ourselves.